Today, I want to talk about a political development that I hardly analyzed about this, but I had mentioned sometime last year. The reason why Raila Odinga allowed and accepted that bipartisan talks to take center stage is because Raila was trying to make an exit from the confrontational politics. It's not tribal, but it's true to say that Raila's supporters were killed and maimed in Kisumu because of the cost of living protests. And myself, in the bold, I supported the decision for Raila Odinga to leave the confrontational politics and allow that bipartisan talks to go on. Many of those who wanted things to move were never around. Now that Nadco came up with some recommendations, and there are some three recommendations that were on table. Number one, it said that after it's adopted in Parliament, 2 weeks after its adoption, the deliberations are supposed to be implemented 2 weeks after. It has been 3 weeks since Kalonzo Musyoka and Kimani Ichung'wah presented that document to William Ruto, and it's also 3 weeks since the Parliament adopted that report. But believe me, Kenya Kwanza are adamant, and they have declined to implement some of those deliberations there. And some characters feel Raila was duped. It was never about Raila. I think that is the truth. If Raila had taken his share of bribed or all that, you can have all those manner of thinking. But that report was never about Raila Odinga. So I've just narrowed down to some 3 proposals, and I think that Azimio has raised. Number one, creation of that panel, expanded that panel to 9 and starting afresh, so that opposition politicians were part of the process of procuring new IEBC officials. And that was to be done immediately so that 2 activities can be done. Number one, boundaries delimitation. That is supposed to be done before 2027 general election. Number 2 is the pending by-elections. There are 3 by-elections that are supposed to be done. 1 parliamentary and 2 MCS. I think there are even more than 5, if I'm not wrong. So those by-elections are yet to be done, and they cannot be done because the commission is not fully constituted. There was an attempt by opposition pushing for secretariat to do those by-elections, but the government side declined. Recently, when Moses Kuria was speaking in Nyeri, he confirmed that there is a clique of MPs in parliament that don't want boundaries delimitation to happen. Listen to that. So that is what I'm saying. That was number one. Number 2 was the creation of the leader of opposition, and that office was supposed to be, some 2 people were supposed to be picked, and that were Kalonzo and maybe Martha Karua. Now that Raila is now, if Raila was going to head to African Union Commission chairperson bid. And someone will ask me, how about the cost of living? The cost of living, Azimio lost in the table, and government insisted they are the ones with administrative recommendations and proposals they will implement to handle the cost of living. Now, as we speak, Kalonzo Musyoka has even declared himself the opposition leader, but government has declined to implement the Nadco report, and that document is rotting somewhere in State House. It is more simplistic to believe that this is a case of someone being duped. But from where I'm seated, there's some few things that William Ruto wants to achieve by forestalling that Nadco report. Many people have taken a very simplistic approach by saying that, Raila was duped. Raila was duped. I think that is so pedestrian. Apart from Raila was duped, you need to look at it this way. So these are things like by-elections, delimitations. Why do you think William Ruto doesn't want by-elections? Why do you think William Ruto doesn't want those positions to be created? Why do you think? That is what I want to explain. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Azmi had even raised questions that the document is at its deathbed. Those who are supposed to implement the document are not willing to implement the document. There's some few things. Ruto is fearing a by-election contest, a contest between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio or any other candidate, because if the election is called anywhere in this country, that would be a red card, a protest vote against Kenya Kwanza. I'm telling you. In fact, sometimes I think Azimio can even try. Let's bring in, get a by-election up ya women repata senator. Let someone resign or MP within Nairobi and call for by-election. Kenya Kwanza would not, they would try everything to avoid, because any vote mobilization now will turn into a battleground, Kenyans against government, and that they will likely lose. So the streams of losses will already create a perception that there's no way they can vote, and that is one of the reasons why they will not even want anything to do with that. Number two, William Ruto is so much scared secretly behind the scene of one man, one shilling, one vote. Why? Uhuru Kenyatta's intervention to address one man, one shilling, one vote was to create additional constituencies in Mount Kenya, even though it was to be done in some, let me say, against the law, in breach of the law. Let me say in breach of the law. But that was his intervention. So Mount Kenya has been looking at this, and boundaries delimitation is one of the strategies, is one of avenues that the powers will use to create more additional constituencies in some areas in Mount Kenya. And that is something that he also doesn't want to do. So that is why the issue of IBC is not on table and is not giving it that priority. Number three, William Ruto is waiting for Raila Odinga. And they could be seeing that they want to go for, constitute that commission when there is less competition on the Azimio side. For example, if Raila goes to African Union Commission job, the next day that process will kick off and they will be appointing those people because they know there is less resistance. So Ruto would actually have a field day, appointing, his friends, his families, all that. We just do it. Kalonzo is less. The heavyweight is not a heavyweight in terms of hitting on government. The other third aspect on that opposition chief, I think the government is seeing that with that office being created, there could be foreign donations that can get to opposition wing, and that can really support them. Remember, even the ruling coalition is getting some 1 billion from China. And if that be, then maybe opposition will still come in to support, would also get some support from foreign donors. Number three, I think that position is also going to organize the opposition bench. What would really William Ruto want? For them to be disorganized. So that's my outlook about why William Ruto has actually abandoned that report, and why I don't think that is going to be implemented. Thank you.
Hi guys, so I'm so happy finally the February project is done. I know most of us have been talking about this. We did know it will come to fruition, but I'm in Mama Lucy and I've managed to get 13 out. Yes, I was planning for 7, but who knows, God has another way of doing his own things. That we managed to our to 13, and apart from that, we've also done some food stuff because these guys are how mama wamekuwa hospitali for long, na hawajakuwa wakifanya kazi. So what we decided is whatever has remained, we do some food stuff for them, and I'm just so happy that they are going home, wanted to reunite with the rest of their family. Some have been here for long, so I just want to say thank you on behalf of Bold Charity Network, my family, myself, and everyone in whatever way you've come through this. Nasema santeni sana. These women are out. Now I'll just give 2 or 3 chance waseme tu kitu moja. You can just say thank you. Tanza na huyu.
Tumeshukuru. Okay, my name is Oduor. Tumeshukuru kwa kuja kututoa huku. Tumekaa huku for long na the bill was too much yenye hatungeweza kuafford. But Bold Charity Network imekuja ikatutoa na tunasema ni asante.
Naitwa Teresia Wanjiru ama Mama Favor. Na nataka kuambia asante kwa sababu bili ilikuwa mob, singeweza kulipa, but kwa ajili ya Mungu ati ni mimi natoka. Asante, God bless you all.
Aya, huyu. Nani mwingine anaweza ongea? Wewe, sio? Sema kitu kama tu asante.
Mimi cha kuwashukuru ni kusema asante kwa Mungu. Tumekuwa huku for a long time. Kama mimi nilidischangiwa day 15, nimeng'ang'ana, nikang'ang'ana, nikapata, nikalipa, nikaambiwa nirudi kwa ward. Sai I'm very happy. Niko out, nitaenda sasa kuungana na familia yangu. Asanteni sana.
Mimi naitwa Lydia Chelimo. Bili yangu ilitoka date 16. But singe manage kulipa, but court ameniwezesha nimetoka huku, ndatoka leo. Nimeshukuru sana na nimefurahi.
Yeah, so guys, that was it. I had to give you this confirmation that finally to manage, and may God meet you in the hour of need. I spent 2 days here listening to their stories, and their stories are a testament of how we need to come for the society. For all those who participated in this Bold Charity Network, this was our CSR for the month of February. Akimbarikiwe. We will do this next time. Asanteni sana, more happy than them. Asanteni. Sawa?